Scholars, it is time for Chapter 5. Before we begin reading a new chapter in our chapter book, Clementine, we want to make sure that we annotate for our thinking jobs and we keep our thinking jobs in mind. So that means we will write them down. Get a piece of paper and write down our genre and thinking jobs. Our genre is fiction, so that means there are 5 thinking jobs: character, motivation, problem, solution, and lesson learned. Writing these down and keeping them next to us as we read will help us think about the important parts of the story. Let's begin. Don't forget to read along with me. As soon as I got home, I started watching for Margaret's feet. From my kitchen window, I can see the sidewalk in front of the lobby doors. Since I have memorized all the shoes of everybody who lives in our building, I always know who's coming in or going out. I might be a detective when I grow up. I waited and waited and I waited, which is the hardest thing in the world. Especially when you have a hot head, which I did because my mother made me wear my winter hat so she didn't have to look at my chopped off hair. Finally, I saw Margaret's purple sneakers and I ran up to meet her in the lobby. "Let me see." Margaret pulled her lips out of the way so I could see all of her teeth. Oh, she got braces. Margaret's mouth was the most beautiful place I have ever seen. It was even more beautiful than Disneyland. Sleeping Beauty's castle, which I am going to visit when I am 10. Every tooth had its own sparkly silver bracelet, and there were little blue bits sprinkled around like tiny presents. "They're rubber bands," Margaret said. "Every month I'll go in and get them changed, and they'll give me different colors, whatever I want." That gave me such a good idea. I pulled off my hat to show Margaret that she wasn't the only one, and that made her happy. Then I told her my good idea. "You can pick the color of my new hair, whatever color you want. You can draw it on my head." That made her even happier. "Those markers are still in my room. Let's go," she said. "Is your mother still mad?" I asked. "Yep, but she's going to a movie with Alan this afternoon." Alan is Margaret's mother's special friend, which is the grown-up's word for boyfriend. So we went up to her apartment. Mitchell was there watching TV. When he saw my hair, he grabbed his chest and fell off the couch, pretending to have a heart attack. Then he smacked his forehead and said, "You guys are unbelievable, absolutely unbelievable." Even though he is older and doesn't have to be nice to us, I think he likes me. Margaret glared at him. Then she jabbed her elbow into my side, and so I glared at him too, even though I didn't know why we were doing that. I'm not so sure Margaret is the easy one in that family. She dragged me into her room. "I can't wait for summer," she growled. "My mother's finally going to get rid of him." "You mean baseball camp?" "He wants to go, Margaret. That's not getting rid of someone." Margaret gave her, "I'm in 4th grade and you're not" look. "Goodbye and good riddance," she muttered. Then she got out my mother's markers. They were all still there and they looked exactly the same, with none of the caps chewed up. I don't know how Margaret does that. She picked a bright green one and colored my hair and drew some curls on my forehead and neck. "No pointy lines," I reminded her, "just round ones." Thinking about pointy lines made me wonder about Margaret's bracelets again. How do they feel? I bet they're full of pointy parts. "Nope, they feel like heaven," Margaret said. "No pointy parts at all. They're as soft as rabbit ears, baby rabbit ears. Too bad you can't have them." She kept her lips stretched out of the way to show me her teeth the whole time she talked. So it was kind of hard to understand her. But I did. "I'm I'm getting them too, I said, next week. Then I pulled my hat back on and ran down to my apartment quick to make this be a non-lie. I need bracelets on my teeth, I told my mom. They're beautiful and they feel wonderful. First of all, my mother said, they don't feel wonderful. Not in the beginning, anyway. Margaret's mother stopped in earlier, asking if we had any medicine left over from when your brother was teething. She told me Margaret cried all the way home. I'm noticing here that Margaret told Clementine that bracelets are so wonderful and she's really enjoying them. But her mother, Margaret's mother, showed up this morning and told Clementine's mom that Margaret was not happy and she was in a lot of pain. She was crying all the way home. So it seems like Margaret isn't telling the truth to someone. That Margaret, well, I still want them next week. And second of all, you don't need them. Your teeth are straight enough. Which is the most unfair thing I have ever heard. I can feel them bending, I said, and suddenly I could. So we'd better make that appointment. Then, before my mom could get to third of all, which is usually the worst one, we heard my brother waking up from his nap. I'm coming, Radish, I called to him. Go for a walk? He asked when I came into his room. You're lucky to have me for a big sister, I told him. I have to remind him of this every day because he forgets. We went into the kitchen and I got out the walk. Nobody invented this trick for me when I was little. Then he climbed into the walk and grabbed the handles and I gave him a good spin. He went whirling around, bumping into the cabinets, and then he got out and walked wobbly until he fell over, which he thinks is the funniest thing in the world. That looks fun. Again, he yelled, but I didn't spin him again because he throws up the second ride and somebody has to clean it up, which is NOT, not me. This is called being responsible. He came over to me and pulled off my hat and pointed to my head. Green! And I thought about something. First, Margaret had straight brown hair and we didn't look alike. Then we cut it off and colored it red, so we sort of did. Then she got bracelets on her teeth, which meant we didn't look alike. But soon her teeth would be straight, and we would. Except now I had a green head. What if we never looked alike? What if we did? And that concludes Chapter 5. Make sure to answer the questions below and click Submit.